Expert reports for Moldovan asylum seekers, human rights issues and political repression in Moldova. Hello colleagues, this video is for law firms representing Moldovan asylum seekers. I'm Maxim Kritonov and I specialize in preparing expert reports for asylum applicants. In this video, I'll explain my approach to analyzing Moldova's situation, highlighting key human rights issues. Expert reports play a crucial role in asylum cases. What is an expert report? As you know, an expert report is an independent analysis document for courts and immigration authorities. Its purpose is to prove the applicant faces genuine threats and can't safely return home. This report supports the applicant's story with objective data and analyzes the country's situation and demonstrates the link between the overall situation and the client's individual circumstances. The expert report confirms the country's context and general situation, including political instability, repression, and conflicts. It cites international and local sources, substantiates the applicant's personal risks, shows the connection between country conditions and individual threats, strengthens the evidence base, and confirms that the applicant belongs to a vulnerable group that faces persecution. It verifies facts using authoritative sources like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the UN, and others, formatted to ASCOLA standards. Among my experience and achievements, I'd like to highlight, over the past 2 years, I've prepared over 100 expert reports that helped asylum seekers secure asylum. I collaborate with 15 leading law firms in the US, UK, and EU. In 2024, I won the Expert Witness Award for Best Migration and Asylum Expert. All my reports meet Supreme Tribunal standards and Civil Procedure Code requirements. I respond to law firms within an hour and prepare reports in 1 week. Now about human rights violations in Moldova. Moldova faces systemic human rights issues, political instability, opposition pressure, and use of the judicial system for political purposes. State structures, including courts and law enforcement, often face corruption, threats to journalists, media closures, and activist pressure. LGBT community faces discrimination and attacks with inadequate legal protection. Vulnerable groups, including ethnic minorities and migrants, face discrimination. Domestic violence remains a pressing issue despite reform attempts. Victims often lack adequate protection. In my report, I detail all aspects with sources, conclusions, and findings. How do I work on Moldova reports? I typically prepare expert reports based on instructions from major law firms in the UK, US, and EU. The questions they pose often include describing Moldova's current political climate, opposition pressure, risks for activists and journalists, threats to LGBT and religious minorities, access to justice amid corruption, internal relocation safety, risks for ethnic minorities and vulnerable groups, threats to peaceful protesters, and more. How do I create an expert report? Creating a report is meticulous work requiring careful attention at each stage. I usually start by examining all documents submitted by the applicant, which can include personal evidence of persecution, interviews, and rejections. My job is to identify key facts and evidence to best justify the applicant's risk. Next, I research the situation in the country of origin. I use credible international and local sources to gather current info on the country, especially regarding threats to the applicant's safety. It's crucial here to show how the country's situation relates to the applicant's personal story. Then, I analyze specific risks if they return. My conclusions always cite verified sources for objectivity and reliability. Of course, I pay close attention to meeting standards. All my reports strictly follow guidelines outlined in Supreme Tribunal directives on expert evidence. Each report includes a truth statement confirming that the data is from reliable sources and opinions are my professional judgments. All my reports comply with established standards. I always verify the accuracy of presented facts and the validity of my conclusions. My fee doesn't depend on case outcomes, ensuring objectivity in my work. Moreover, if needed, I'll testify in court about the applicant's country situation. For expert reports, contact info-thehumanrights.com. Reports can be paid via Legali, free for state-aided cases. Flexible terms for private requests. Flexible payment options are available for private inquiries. I work with applicants from Moldova and other countries, including post-Soviet nations like Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Russia. An expert report is crucial in influencing a case's successful outcome. It proves the threat's reality and boosts the applicant's credibility with courts and immigration authorities. I'm glad to help you and your clients achieve justice. Thanks for your attention. See you soon.